So we've reached the end of section 4, and let's just wrap this up with a summary and take a look at our learning goals for this particular section. Now we've gone ahead and we've implemented basic authentication in our app, and hopefully we've got an understanding now of how to store passwords in a database. Now I often get questions from students about this, certainly around the sorting and the hashing of the password. Now hashing the password is good because it's a one-way operation, and it means that our password cannot be read in clear text. But it's not good enough because there's 1,000 different dictionaries out there of all common passwords and every possible password combination that's already been hashed using multiple different algorithms. So it's very easy to take a hash and find out what the original password is from these dictionaries. Sorting protects us against that. But it doesn't solve everything. It does protect against general dictionary attacks on a password, but it doesn't stop a concerted attack on a single password. It just protects people who have the same password on multiple machines, but it certainly doesn't make poorly chosen passwords any better. But we do have passwords stored in our database that are not in clear text, and we do solve that one problem of protecting against general dictionary attacks. Having our database compromised is still a very bad thing, and we would still need to tell all of our users that we've been compromised and they need to change their password everywhere they've used it. What we've also taken a look at is using inheritance for our base API controller, and this prevents us typing out repetitive code. So it's that do not repeat yourself thing. We've also taken a look at using the C# debugger, and this can help us see what's going on with our methods step by step. We can see what values our variables have at any given time during a method. We've also taken a look at data transfer objects and how we can shape the data that we both receive and also what we return to the client. We then took a look at validation and made sure that we had required attributes on our DTOs so that we don't take up bad data. And we've also taken a look at JSON Web Tokens, these little tokens that we're going to send up with every authenticated request that we need to make from the client. And as I mentioned, we don't need to call our database to check that the token is valid because the API server is going to verify that it's a valid token based on the signature that it's signed it with. And we also took a look at using services in C# to help us generate the token. And this keeps our code clean because the service, our token service, it's just got one job. All it needs to do is generate a token. It doesn't need to authenticate the user. It doesn't need to do anything like that. It's just got a single responsibility of receiving a user and then returning a token. That's all it does. And we also took a look at adding the authentication middleware, and please remember the ordering of that is always important. And then we took a look at extension methods as well, just to tidy up our startup class and keep our code clean. So now we've implemented this in the API, what's coming up next is what we're going to do in the client regarding login and registration.